Welcome to Chit Chat with T. I'm your host, Miss T. So we're going to get started with the first segment in about 2 minutes. So welcome to the live. Come in, have a seat or a sip, depending on what you decide to do, or just get comfortable and relax. Okay, we're going to listen to a couple of vibes, and then we'll get into our first segment. Hope you're having a good day, night, depending on where you are. Again, this is Chit Chat with T. I'm your host, Miss T. Don't forget to like the video. Thank you.
Cause I got you like you got me, and I'm with it if you with it. Committed, committed, committed. So please don't be scared. So please don't be scared. Cause I got you like you got me, and I'm with it if you with it. Committed, committed, committed. So please don't be scared. Got the world on your shoulder. True call, but I'm never gonna fold you. True call, but I'm never gonna fold you. Grown now, but I'm still getting older. Still getting closer, still getting closure. Broken hearts, yeah, I think I know ya. Hit your heart, man, I just might show ya. Hit the pain or I might outgrow ya, might outgrow ya. We just gotta take our time, get out your head, cause I've been on the mind. I've been waiting all day to see you. We just gotta take our time. We just gotta take our time, get out your head, cause I've been on the mind. I've been waiting all day to see you. We just gotta take our time. So please don't be scared. Cause I got you like you got me, and I'm with it if you with it. Committed, committed, committed. So please don't be scared. I can have you, you can have me, we can do the main thing. I can have you, you can have me if you do the same thing. I can have you, you can have me, we can do the main thing. I can have you, you can have me if you do the same thing. So please don't be scared. Cause I got you like you got me, and I'm with it if you with it. Committed, committed, committed. So please don't be scared.
host, Miss T. We're going to get started in like 8 minutes. So sit back and enjoy the music. We're just vibing right now. So the next segment, again, the first segment, excuse me, starts in like 8 minutes. Thanks for joining the live. Or if you're listening to the replay, thanks for listening. Be sure to like the video. This is Ditching the Tea. I'm your host, Miss T. Thank you.
prostate nodule after experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. Now, as bad as that sounds, doctors we spoke with tonight are optimistic. ABC 7 News reporter J.R. Stone joins me now live to discuss, and there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to look at this as optimistic. And the fact that this is treatable, Dion, is certainly good to hear. It may not go away, according to those doctors that I spoke with, but things can be done, as I said, to treat it.
Former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and now doctors are weighing in.
But I think what was surprising was his grade of cancer. It was described as an aggressive cancer.
In this case, what caught my attention is that it has spread outside the prostate, so that means it's more advanced. It also means, by definition, that it is generally incurable.
Dr. Arif Kamal is Chief Patient Officer of the American Cancer Society. Dr. Sandy Srinivas is a medical oncologist at Stanford. No one likes to hear the term incurable, but in Biden's case, both doctors agree that there are a number of treatment options.
The good news is that most people, even in their 80s, tolerate standard of care prostate cancer therapy pretty well.
Both Dr. Kamal and Dr. Srinivas say with the former president's more aggressive form of prostate cancer, pills or treatment that lower testosterone levels or make testosterone unavailable are likely to be used here.
So even though it's incurable, living another 4 or 5 years after a diagnosis like this wouldn't necessarily be out of the ordinary.
That's correct.
If it spreads and stays in the bones, generally doesn't cause a ton of trouble. Now, it can, but the good news is that unlike some other cancers that tend to go to some organs of the body that are a lot more critical, what we can do is give medications to strengthen the bones.
Dr. Kamal says the American Cancer Society recommends yearly PSA blood tests for most men starting at 50 and some starting at 45. Dr. Srinivas says there has been some controversy concerning those tests overdiagnosing patients and not being able to pick up prostate cancer in early stages.
So in this last decade, we do see a lot of patients like President Biden, where at their first presentation, they have disease that's already left the prostate and have spread elsewhere.
Former President Biden and his family are currently reviewing treatment options.
At this point, the former president has not said what treatment options he will undergo, but it's likely we'll hear more about that going forward. Dion, in his statement today, characterized one of those test results by a Gleason score of 9. A Gleason score goes up to 10. And I think the only reason that that was released was to show the severity here that we're dealing with.
I see. And let's talk about who should be the most concerned, because obviously I thought about my loved ones, those who happen to be older.
Two groups of people here. You've got to look at your family history. If you have a family history where this kind of cancer runs in that family, then you should be getting regular blood tests. The second thing you want to look at is, this hits the African-American population of men much greater than any other group out there.
Okay, certainly good information to have. I know we will probably be following up on this story in the coming days. JR, many thanks to you.
Do overnight, and you basically just want it to be set. So here is a tray of cookie dough that's already been
It was the update on President Biden, and bless his heart, So that's sad and devastating for him, I'm sure. The crazy part, well, not crazy, but the thing about it is, he spent all these years serving the United States of America as a senator, and then he was the president. And clearly, being the president is a very stressful job. And the only thing about this is, I hope he can maybe try to make the best of what he has left, maybe spend it with his family, his wife and grandkids, because seemed like the last 4 years have been so stressful. And I think he probably already had some, like I said before, some ailments or something going on. But anyway, hope he can make the best of it, right? It's sad and it's unfortunate, but I wish him the best. And hoping it just maybe enjoy his grandkids and his wife. But moving on to our next segment, I'm gonna go ahead and probably just move on. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go move on and just get into our next segment. Okay. And the next segment we have is about the Louisiana people that broke out from Louisiana prison, right? They broke out. They did, and it was 11 inmates. It's not funny, but it's just that they broke out, and I'm gonna get into it. I do find it a little bit strange, or weird that they were able to break out in 2025. For real, for real. I don't know what to say. Like, what's going on in the prison infrastructure? They were able to get out. Mm. And let's get into the details. Okay, let's go.
We know now at least one family is in hiding. Escapee Derek Groves was convicted of killing two men on Mardi Gras 7 years ago. We talked with family members of one of those men, and they're stuck wondering how this happened, why they didn't find out sooner, and what they can possibly do next. Here's Rachel Hanley.
Wednesday, Jamar Robinson's family celebrated his birthday.
Love you, miss you.
2 days later, they were in hiding after finding out that the man convicted of his murder had escaped from prison.
Just get all our family members out of the city. We had to get everyone out of the city. Didn't know what way we was going. Where we was going, crying, devastated.
Two of Robinson's family members spoke with us over the phone. They asked not to be named for their safety. Robinson and another man, Byron Jackson, were shot and killed on Mardi Gras in 2018. Derek Groves was arrested for their murders. Late Friday morning, someone they knew called the family and told them that a group of inmates had broken out of Orleans Justice Center. Groves was one of them.
No one notified us. No one tell us anything. You know, we had to leave work. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how Derek Groves felt like with this process of us. You know, either he was coming for us. We didn't know.
They say they went to a nearby police station and two officers escorted them home. They grabbed what they could, got the family's young kids, including Robinson's son, from school. Then they left. By that time, Groves had been out for hours.
We just didn't know what to do at that point. And I'm so angry with the Orleans Parish Prison because it's like, when I look at the news, I see the boys pulling on the door. Like, this prison was just recently built. And you mean to tell me the doors was that easy to pull apart?
And this is a family that was already exhausted.
Groves was convicted of killing Robinson and Jackson in 2019. But the jury wasn't unanimous, and a Supreme Court ruling ended up throwing out the verdict because of it. The next trial in 2023 was declared a mistrial. The next one, later that year, ended with a deadlocked jury.
Then, finally, in October of last year, Groves was convicted again.
So before we go on, another video is almost over. Pulling on the door. The prison was brand new. I'm sorry, these things just stuck out for me. The prison is brand new and they were able to break out of the prison. What did it make the prison out of? I just some things. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. It's just wow, that's crazy, especially in 2025. Like, what was like? That's crazy. What was?
His sentencing was set for July.
It's just crazy. It's like a soul that's not being healed. Because every time we move on from this, something come up.
Now, with Groves on the run, Robinson's family is trying to figure out what to do about their jobs and the kids' school. They're planning to stay hidden while they wait for justice again. Rachel Handley, WWL, Louisiana.
And take a look on your screen. This is a photo of the inmates. The NOPD told us yesterday that anyone who was a witness in any of these escapees cases or has any other reason to fear one of them, they should contact them for help. And again, 3 are back in custody and have been transferred to state correctional facilities outside of New Orleans. Now, if you see any of them, you're asked to call 911 right away.
So they have 3. Now, the other day, they only had captured 1. There's so much behind this. It's so crazy. I think it's still crazy though that they were able to get out. I'm for real. Like, what? I know they didn't show a picture here, but on another report that I saw, they showed a report how they had pulled out the something to do with like the sink or the toilet. They pulled it out the wall, but it's just crazy. And then Derek Groves apparently is has done so much to this poor family, and they still yet to find him. This is all crazy. And the sad part about this is that they're so young and they're all black. I'm not gonna lie, all that's pretty sad. This is sad. Mm-mm. And the other part about this is, even though I know they've done all these things, they could possibly end up getting themselves killed behind this, because I shouldn't say that word, but unalived, because they broke out. It's just a whole lot going on here. And then Derrick Groves, how many times did they try him? 2020, what was it? 2019, 2023, twice in 20, and still, I don't know. Sometimes the justice systems make me scratch my head a little bit, like what's really going on. But yeah, this is a thing. I want to go back and look again at I wanted to go back and look at something because it's crazy. Let me see here. I'm gonna move on from this story, but I just want to look at something. First of all, look, they even have video of them. I just want to look at that real quick.
Then they left. By that time, Groves had been out for hours.
We just didn't know what to do at
Like
that point.
how
And I'm so
you
angry.
see all them people, all those people running out of there. Did you notice that? All these people running out of this building, right? Here's the question: where are all the security? The security, like where are they? The guards. Look at this. I am not being like I'm just.
From
It's a
school.
trip.
Then they left. By that time, Groves
Yeah.
had been out for hours.
We just didn't know what to do at that point. And I'm so angry with all these parents, first because it's like, when I look at the news, I see the boys pulling on the door. Like, this prison was just recently built. And you mean to tell me the doors was that easy to pull apart?
Right. So anyway. And then there was another report where, like it's just like the chief came out and she spoke on it, and they were complaining about the infrastructure. But when they were speaking on this the other day, just saying how they were going to redo something, they were complaining about it wasn't made well. I didn't know the building was like recently built. That when I tell you that's crazy. Oh my goodness. There's so much there. And also bless their heart, the family of Jamar Robinson, who looks like he was unalive there. They showed that. That's a Jezebel story. I'm going to keep watching it, kind of keeping up with it to see what's going on. There's so much going on here, though. I hate to see such young people all incarcerated. That's sad. And then the things that they did to the families or whatever they did is sad. And they're still running amok. And then the court system's like it failed the family. And then they couldn't even lock them up properly. That's crazy. That really is crazy. But anyway, that's the end of that one. I won't stay there anymore. I won't stay there much longer on that. But yeah, we're gonna take a break, just a quick break. We'll take a vibe break from music, and I'm gonna come back and get into our last segment. But thank you for listening. I'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you for listening, and then let me know what your comments are. What do you think about this whole story? I guess it's not much to say, except it's crazy. It's whack. And yeah, I'm sure. Hopefully they'll find them all. Right? They found 3 out of 11. Hopefully they'll find them. All right. Thank you for listening. I'll be right back. I'm going to play some music. Hang tight. Thanks for vibing with me. This is Chit Chat with T. I'm your host, Miss T. I'll be right back. Thank you. with the Double T. I'm your host, Miss T. We're just vibing and chilling. The next segment starts about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like video. Don't forget the like button because it gets assisted in the algorithm. And I can keep coming back and giving you, entertaining you. Okay. Right now, I'm just going to keep vibing and chilling. Thank you.
Just pulled up to the house, don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my best, taking a moment to rest, feeling stressed out. Give it a good, I put that on God when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with that mentality. Jump on, jealousy, my bad. Get away from me, 'cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, better way. Oh, hey. Mom and Dad's only daughter, do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics, do you like the sound? Seeking approval constantly. When it's my truth I own, I speak it on. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. 'Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, nigga, catch a break. Better way. Oh, hey.
This is the TLT. My host, Miss T. Yes, we'll be starting in our next segment in like 5 minutes. Right now, we're just vibing and chilling. Thank you for joining the chat. Is there anything you want to talk about? Please drop it in the chat. Otherwise, just sit back and vibe, and I'll be back. Thank you.
Hey, they wonder what's got it into him. I took a couple losses, I'm trying to win again and win again and win again. I ain't taking minimums, my destiny was written in. Coming with a different sin, coming with a different stench. Smelling like greatness and I spread every day, that's the latest. The world been moving crazy all around me. I was hiding in my feelings, then you found me. I'm just too aware of my surroundings. Looking at the blessings I've been counting. The world been moving crazy all around me. I was hiding in my feelings, then you found me. I'm just too aware of my surroundings. I've been looking at the blessings I've been counting. Look, I've been counting my blessings, but still stuck in my thoughts. Here I go, stuck in my head again. Daily I've been looking for some peace. What would you recommend? Have a couple drinks, go to sleep, then reset again. That's everything I'm better than, but everything I'm used to. Sticking to the basics got me looking for a new glue, looking for a new crew, looking for a new outlet that doesn't sacrifice my self-respect. I don't know all the steps that I'm taking, still walking through it. Hope I find a shawty that really listens and talk me through it. Oftentimes we end up smashing in love and lust. They asking for my heart, don't give it, it's hard to trust. Consider that a plus and minus the complications. Feel like everyone's the same, internet and mutations. While all the weak get the highest of the praises. Man, it's messing with my patience.
The world been moving crazy all around me. I was hiding in my feelings, then you found me. I'm just too aware of my surroundings, looking at the blessings I've been counting. The world been moving crazy all around me. I was hiding in my feelings, then you found me. I'm just too aware of my surroundings. I've been looking at the blessings I've been counting.
Don't prove me wrong, prove you right. Don't prove me wrong, prove you right. My word is bond, we don't spit no lies. A daughter of the sunshine. But every
Welcome to Chit Chat with T. I'm your host, Miss T. So right now we're just chilling and vibing. I'm just checking in. Hoping you're doing okay. Right now we're just chilling and vibing. We're going to start the next segment in a couple of minutes. So relax and enjoy the vibe. Thank you.
West Coast, my high tolerance for pain don't mean I'ma take your all them fake followers ain't gon' like your pics. I rep the water bearer sign, but all the elements live rent free in my mind. Moody. 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 Oh, you big Moody. I crave love and attention, but I keep everybody at a distance. If I build it, will y'all really come? About all these panties, but I really don't wear none. I like boys and I
chilling and vibing. Hope you're doing okay. Just checking in. Yeah, we're gonna start like 2 minutes. Just count down. Okay, thank you. And don't forget to like button, okay? And subscribe and share. All right, thank you.
The water parasite, but all the elements live rent free in my mind.
And yes, while we're chilling and vibing, just want to let you know I have lots of content. So be sure to check out my YouTube channel. There's pre-recorded. There's lots of live or several lives. Okay, I'm still doing the lives, but plenty of things you can look at. Okay, trending topics, celebrity news, and even I have a self-love series. Check that out on my podcast. So lots and lots of things you can look at, listen to while you're going about your day. Okay. And again, if there's anything you want me to talk about or discuss, let me know respectfully. This is Chit with T. I'm your host, Miss T. Hope you're enjoying this live. Let's get back to vibing and chilling. Also, if you're in the replay, thank you for listening. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Yes, welcome back. This is Taylor T, and we're getting ready to get into our next segment. Okay, so hang tight. Just a second. So hang tight. We're going to get into it. And yeah, okay. So just a moment. Okay. So the last, well, it's not necessarily the last segment. It's a part one, part two, because it's so much. We're now getting ready to discuss, which something everyone's been discussing all over social media. And listen, y'all, it is so much information. It's so much going on out here in these YouTube, everywhere, TikTok, everywhere. Like this case, this P Diddy case is huge. It's gonna be weeks upon weeks. It's gonna be a long trial. So we're just gonna dig into a little bit, dab here, dab there, because it's so much. We'd be here all night if we tried to discuss every single detail. But there were some different things that did stand out for me um, in the P Diddy case that I would like to get into. So let's get into it. Okay. All right. So the first thing is just related to the P Diddy case. If you don't know, I'll get into it. They interviewed or they cross-examined Cassie for hours and hours on top of hours. Cassie is 8 months pregnant, so kudos to her. I know everybody has their own feelings and how everybody feels a way about all of the things. Because she revealed a lot. She did, and honestly, kudos to her because I don't know if I could have done it. Okay, because she got up there and she had to tell a lot of her own business. And from hearing the whole testimony from her, about her and P Diddy's relationship, to me, it said that it. Now, this is just my interpretation. Okay, it said that they were both drug addicts. It said they were both sex addicts. Excuse me, I'm supposed to say that word, but that's what it said to me. And it does say that it does appear that P. Diddy did abuse her mentally and physically, allegedly. But that's what it looked like. That's what it sounded like. But it also sounded like then there was a whole, but then we hear all of the things, right? And some people say, I'm just going by what people say, I'm just sharing. I've been listening every day, and some people say, oh, she's a victim. And then some people say, oh, she's not a victim. So it's just going back and forth. And we hear a lot of different things. She's hurt. Then there was a whole thing about her husband, her actual current husband, her husband, sitting in the courtroom and said he got angry, he left. Of course he did. But the people don't realize he was asked to leave. Actually, he was angry. I'm sure he was hurt, and it probably was troublesome to hear the things that he heard his wife say. He's probably heard a lot of it before anyway, but it's still troublesome to sit there and listen to all the things and how she was being treated and all the things she did and all the things, right? But other reason he had to leave the courtroom, I just want to touch on a few things before I get into the actual video, is the fact that he was asked to leave, okay? Because there's a possibility he may have to be a witness or get on the stand or something like that. And so he couldn't be in the room at that time when she was speaking to certain parts of her life with P. Diddy. Okay, so he had to step off for that. And I think he was upset, yes, about the whole thing, but then again, I'm sure he wanted to be in the room with her. So when she was talking, she could look at him. Because the other part that I noticed, a lot of the different reporters have stated that P. Diddy and Cassie never really made eye contact. They never looked at each other. They weren't looking at each other. I mean, why would you? I wouldn't look at him either. I'm not being funny. But there's so much. There is so much. So I'm gonna get into it. First, we're gonna talk about before we get into about Cassie. I actually want to touch a little bit on Jason Bieber because you know what? The question on it's a lot of questions, but this question is Jason Bieber going to testify? Okay. Well, I found out that he's not. Jason Bieber's not going to testify. I'm actually kind of shocked that he's not going to testify. Very, very shocked by that. But he finally opens up and he shares. So we're going to get into a little bit of this about them. Okay, so I'll stop talking and we'll get into the video about this. It's going to be the first part of this We'll take a break, come back, and do the second part. So yeah, it's gonna be a P Diddy evening because tomorrow or maybe today, later on in a few hours, they're gonna start the next week of the P Diddy case, P Diddy trial. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be going on and on and on. There's so many things going on. Okay, I'm done. Okay, here we go. Thank you for being so patient. Let's get into it. Okay, all right. Start with this. And I'm going to be fast forwarding through some of it because we're not going to the whole video. Because there's so much, right? Okay.
Actual sex tapes featuring Combs and other celebrities. And as we know, Combs is currently on trial in the Southern District of New York on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution. By the way, and as week one wraps up, check out all of our Diddy coverage on Long Crimes YouTube channel. We've been breaking down all of the latest developments. So not only do we do daily recaps with our correspondent Elizabeth Milner, who's inside the courtroom because there's no cameras there, but we've also been doing legal analysis with some of our favorite guests, breaking down the big legal issues that are happening every day in that court. So make sure to go check it out. But one of the biggest rumors that has been hanging over the entire Diddy saga was Justin Bieber a victim of his alleged predatory and inappropriate behavior? Well, I'll tell you what, now, as week one of Combs' sex trafficking and racketeering trial comes to a close, Justin Bieber's camp is finally responding. So his representatives told TMZ, quote, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. So to talk about this, I want to bring back on former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani. Nima, so good to see you. Thanks so much for coming here on Sidebar. I want to talk about the timing of this, timing of this statement.
Right there. Let's go back. Hold on. Right there. That part. So I want to, before they get into it, I want to get into it. Okay. So they're basically saying Justin is not a victim. That's what Justin Bieber's representative said. Although he's not a victim. Okay. But there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. How do they know that? They know that? So shifting focus away from the reality of distracts from the justice these victims. So how is it that, anyway, just listening to this and reading this already, like, okay, we're going to get into the experts, what they have to say, but just reading this right here, this tells me that allegedly, possibly, Justin could have been a victim, but he just don't want to be a part of this. He just don't want to be in it, and this is his way out of having to go to court. This is what this sounds like to me. This just could be speculation. I could be wrong. But let's get into what the experts have to say. This is just what T says, okay? But to me, this is a deflection. But let's see what they have to say. Let's go.
Harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. So to talk about this, I want to bring back on former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani. Nima, so good to see you. Thanks so much for coming here on Sidebar. I want to talk about the timing of this statement from Justin Bieber's camp. This can't be just a coincidence.
No, it can't be, because one of the biggest questions in the Diddy trial is what other celebrities will be named, who participated in the freak-offs and who witnessed the freak-offs. I mean, Diddy's white parties are infamous. And one of the victims that people have been talking about for about a year and a half now has been Justin Bieber. And now finally, after week one of trial, when we know that Don Richard is the next witness and we're going to start hearing who the government thinks is going to help corroborate their case, we are not going to hear from Justin Bieber. And it really goes back to a video when he was about 15 years old, when Combs said he was going to spend 48 hours with Justin Bieber. And that's when all the speculation began. Bieber's camp didn't say anything until now, but I think it's important that he did. And he also, like many celebrities in Hollywood, want to stay as far away from the Diddy trial as possible.
Because you think that there was talk of him testifying and he didn't, he wanted to shut that down.
I think so. I think people want to know, because look, the trial is lasting 2 months, right? 8 weeks, maybe even 10 weeks. And I know Judge Subramanian is trying to move it along as quickly as he can. But now that Cassie Ventura is wrapping up her testimony, we know that we're going to hear from a couple other victims. But the government needs to fill that time. And what they're wanting to do is put on victims that really aren't in a romantic relationship and never have been with Combs, right? Cassie got impeached with some of that, the emails, the text messages, the words that she put, those words of affirmation. So to the extent that there are other victims, that's how the government's going to be able to overwhelm the defense here. And if it's a celebrity victim, even better.
See, here's the thing.
Okay, so before we go further, the thing about Justin Bieber is there have been, this has had rumors, speculations, assumptions, all the things. We don't really know. I mean, Justin Bieber, we know Justin Bieber definitely has some things happen. And who hasn't in Hollywood? Any children, young adult, they went through something in Hollywood. Why? It doesn't mean that, I'm not saying he didn't, but I'm not saying he did it either, as in P did it. Who said P Diddy did anything to Justin? And to me, I mean, I'm not trying to say he didn't or take up for P Diddy. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm just saying, like, my thing is, where is the proof? Where's the proof? Okay, that he did these things to. Anyway, Justin's basically saying he's not a victim, but others are. Hello, what others? Does he know of others? Anyway, those are just the things that cross my mind. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it. Let's keep going.
You know, I think about it, and I'm sure he didn't want to. I guess the idea is, you know, not distract from the conversation that's being had, but to make a statement towards the end of the week, after opening statements, after or towards the conclusion of Cassandra Ventura's testimony, when he makes a statement confirming that there were people harmed by Combs, does that signify to you that he believes the prosecution's case, or does he think it's beyond the criminal case and based on the accusations we've seen in the civil arena?
I think it's probably the former. And like you said, the key part of that statement was denying that he was a victim, but really talking about the other victims. And it wasn't alleged victims. He said other victims, well, through his spokesperson. So I think that is very, very important. This isn't a Michael Jackson type case where, you know, celebrities are rushing to Combs' defense. Very few people are. And the fact that you have someone come out that really isn't 50 Cent or someone who, you know, is trying to make light of it or a documentary about it and really point the finger at Diddy, that's a big deal, Jesse.
And yeah, he mentioned harmed by him, right? It was very specific language that were genuinely harmed by him, and the shifting focus away from this reality distracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. There's no way to.
So stop right there. My whole other part is I'm gonna stop. But here's my other thing. If Justin Bieber is saying that again, we understand. He says he's not a victim. Great. But if he's saying that there are other victims, what does he know? And if he know, are they not questioning him about those victims? Here's my thing. If they're not going to question him about he's not a victim, how does he know about the other ones? How does he speaking so almost like he knows, as if he knows that they're actual victims? And are they questioning him if he knows something? Anyway, those are the kind of questions I have. What does he know? And why would they not question Jason? Or have they questioned him? They didn't tell us any of that. I don't see where they're saying they'd even question him. So I'm a little confused by that. Why aren't they questioning him about these victims that he knows about? Or maybe he's assuming. It's just weird. That's weird. Okay, anyway, sorry. It's weird.
Parse that language.
There isn't. And the defense is obviously trying to separate physical harm from sex trafficking and sexual assault. But, you know, the average person who's watching isn't going to be making that distinction. That may matter in the case, but it's not going to matter in the court of public opinion.
And stop right there. Sorry about it. Sorry, y'all. Okay, I am not. If whatever P is guilty of, he's guilty of. But but there's certain parts that I don't get, like the trafficking. How is that? I have yet to see. I mean, I know the case has just begun. I mean, we just began, the trial had just begun. So it's kind of at the early stages. But like we haven't seen to me, and maybe because I'm not a lawyer, an attorney, and all the things, I haven't seen anything that says he's trafficking ex workers. I don't see that. I don't understand that. That part I've yet to see. And remember, they're going to show that later on. I'm not saying he is not guilty of something because we clearly saw him drag and do what he did to Cassie. So he's done something and some other things. But that part I'm still not seeing. Or maybe they're going to tell it. I still have yet to see that part, the racketeering and all the things. I've yet to see that. Maybe they're going to tell us later. But okay, I'll stop. Okay.
And Bieber's statement, it comes as this TikTok started floating around on Friday. There was a doctored image of Bieber where he allegedly announces that he's going to testify against Combs, but the video was quickly debunked as fake. And Nima, I mean, you think at the end of the day, are we going to see some celebrity or celebrity friends testify at this trial?
Another question.
I think we have to, because there's got to be independent witnesses that, saw some of this, right?
And then another thing, sorry, but here it is. What celebrities are going to come forward? I cannot wait to see who, what, when, where, and how. What celebrities are coming forward? I've seen some of the names, but I wonder like who? And Diddy had a lot of parties. He had a lot of parties. I can't imagine these people are going to come forward because honestly, if you notice at the start at the beginning of the video, they said that a lot of people are trying to separate themselves from this case. So I'm not excited, but I'm curious to know what celebrities are coming forth, because no one wants to be connected to this case. They're running. I mean, and again, I don't know who witness number 3. Whether you really witness number 3, I know this is a little bit off pocket, but witness number 3 is yet to come. Like whoever that is, they're not coming. They're not. They're still missing in action. I don't know what happened to them, but they're not coming. Let's keep going. Okay.
I'm not saying maybe the actual freak-offs themselves, maybe there are other participants, but Combs was very public, and Cassie Ventura, to the extent that she was abused, it's like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, right? You got Kate Moss was brought into that case. People that are rich and famous celebrities, they have rich and famous celebrity friends, right? That's why Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, we're talking about Taylor Swift. This is a small circle here in Hollywood. So the independent witnesses are very likely going to be other celebrities. So I think we're just starting to scratch the surface when it comes to that.
Okay.
So the question becomes, why do fans believe that Justin Bieber could have been one of Sean Combs' targets, right? You mentioned it before. Well, as the legal saga against Combs ramped up last year, there was video clips that started to resurface of Combs and Bieber spending some time together. And people noticed that the videos often kind of straddled the line between awkward and inappropriate. And Bieber sometimes seemed really uncomfortable. For example, when Bieber was 15 years old, he uploaded a video to his YouTube channel called 48 Hours with Diddy. And this is where he said he was going to be hanging out with the rapper for a couple of days.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having a time.
Pause. Sorry, pause. I'm going to play this clip. What's so uncomfortable about this? He's a kid. He's standing with P. Diddy, a celebrity. Why would he not be, even though he was he wanted to do that. Was he really a celebrity as of yet? The point of it is, of course, he's a little nervous and he's excited. Anyway, okay. All right.
Times of their lives, like, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
Now, some fans called out Combs for allegedly grooming behavior. They
stop right there. And before we get into that too, I have a question. I can't help it. My question before we get into it, where was Jason's parents? I'm not dropping mine off, my child, my 16, 15, 17 with P. Diddy or anybody grown. I'm not saying P. Diddy even did anything to him, but I'm just saying, what was his adult supervision besides P. Diddy? Just because he has money don't mean that he needs to be left alone with him or he's celebrity status. Anyway, I was curious. I didn't hear or see anything about that. I was wondering where was his parental person, individual, whatever.
Say was exhibited in this video, spending time at his home with a young kid who's suddenly been thrown into the world of fame and money, taking him under his wing, offering up opportunities, maybe gifts that he could only dream of.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time. I was like, yeah, this will be yours. So,
One more thing. Why does it have to be grooming? I know there is such thing as grooming. Why couldn't he possibly be really just trying to help the kid? Why couldn't he possibly saw a talent in him and wanted to help him? I'm not saying that he hasn't done anything grooming or anything, but why does this say? Why I don't get it. Why does everything have to be that? Okay.
Look dusty, but you know, go get the front shot.
Man.
Man out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be dropping this next year.
Now, look, of course, this could all be for the camera, it could be performative.
Right.
Bieber could have left right after this. We don't really know, but the video made the rounds. Speculation around Combs grew. And then another clip surfaced. And this one posted to Combs' YouTube page showing another interaction, this time apparently in a studio.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
It's awkward. I don't know. It could have been a joke for the cameras. Nima.
Okay, yeah, that was awkward. That was awkward. It doesn't mean that anything bad is happening here, but it was awkward. Okay, it doesn't mean it could be that just as like I don't want to hang out with your old butt. Whatever. I mean, that doesn't mean anything happened. I still don't see where something happened. Maybe I don't see it, but anyway. As when I say happen, I mean I don't see how something, disturbing, sick, or anything was behind that. It could have been innocent.
What do you take away from these videos?
Yeah, it's awkward and it's weird. So, look, if it's just by itself, maybe you look past it. But there's been a lot of allegations involving minors, not in the criminal case. That hasn't been charged. That would be a game changer, but in the civil lawsuit. So I'm not saying that those are true, but sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. And you have a lot of these civil claimants alleging that Combs is also sexually abusing men and boys and children. So again, not charged in the criminal case, but given those allegations out there, I think it's something that people are going to pick up on, and rumors and speculation are going to fly.
So according to sources who spoke to TMZ, Bieber was actually friends with Combs' sons, and that many of his past public appearances with Combs have been, quote, performative. So in 2015, Combs presented Bieber with an American Music Award for Best Collaboration and gave him a big hug on stage. And then in 2020, Bieber did an interview with Apple Music. And in it, he expressed how he wishes he could protect other young artists like Billie Eilish from some of what he experienced in the music industry as a teenager. But he didn't really elaborate beyond that.
And right there, just because he said that doesn't mean it was necessarily P. Diddy. These are the things that to me sound like speculations. Again, back to speculations, like rumors. Nothing definite. And I'm not taking it. This is not a taking up for P. Diddy moment. This is just looking at it and it's like, well, where are the facts? That's what I'm saying. I want facts, not just rumors. Where are the facts? Where's the proof? That's my biggest thing. Not whether they be wrong or right, but like where is the proof? Where are the facts? Where is the evidence? And then the other thing you mentioned, like civil. In a lot of cases, when you say civil, that means that a lot of people were probably trying to sue. That means he was suing him, but no one's going down and actually trying to, get him right now. Like right now, this is not civil. This is criminal. Okay. Anyway, this interesting to me. Let's move forward a little bit. It's kind of long. I didn't want to go this into it. Let's see what else. Let's see here. Okay.
Grow up, and that meant that many of his mistakes and.
I'm here in Hollywood and people will see Justin Bieber looking disheveled or losing weight. And Of course, the tabloids are going to jump to conclusions, right? Is it drugs? Is it relationship problems?
Right.
Is it trauma from past sex abuse? And it's really impossible to know what, if anything, he's going through, but he does appear to be acting and looking differently as of late.
But some will say, if he's making this comment now, and they're looking at his past interactions and making comments through the over the years, about protecting young artists, this is a big question that a lot of celebrities have. And I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, but there are those who I'm sure will say, if celebrities knew something, why didn't they say something? And by the way, that came up with the Harvey Weinstein case, right? People allegedly knew rumors about his behaviors, but rumors one thing, how much do you definitively know? What do you say to that? Because again, we obviously don't know who knew what. I don't believe this trial is going to sort through any of that whatsoever. I don't think we're going to be seeing big names either being named in this trial or even taking the stand. But what do you say to the argument somebody had to know something if these allegations are true?
Look, I think it's a fair argument, Jesse. This seems like it was one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood. How can you sexually abuse or assault people for a span of years or decades and people not know, especially when a lot of this happened in hotel rooms or with other people around? This is the same arguments people make with respect to Weinstein or Epstein.
So just to this, and again, I just have to speak to it. He said hotel rooms. Well, that triggers me a little bit because, yeah, people knew. We're going to go back. He said, how do you not know? How do people not know? Well, not necessarily about the essay part, but everyone, if you know, you've been around anywhere, you know that they published the video. They released, somebody leaked the video apparently of P. Diddy putting his hands, actually, I think his feet and everything else on Cassie. I don't know what year that was. Was it 2000? It's been a while. 2000 and I'm not gonna try to even do it. Anyway, it's been years ago. But the point of it is he put his hands on her, this, that, and the third. But people did know about that part. It was in the hotel. But what I'm going to say about the hotel is that, if you didn't know, Cassie, I didn't know this part. I found this out the other day. But Cassie, she received a settlement of not 10,000, not even, okay, of $10 million as it relates to that video where she was being assaulted by P. Diddy. So that's why a lot of people, that's where all that comes from, her saying that she was a money, she was out for the money. Those are the reasons people are saying that. I'm not saying that's the case, but those are some of the things that you hear in the streets, the rumors are online and all that. That's what they're saying. But he was just saying how people wouldn't know. The hotel incident isn't a perfect example that people knew. Not necessarily about the essay, but they definitely knew about the violence and the abuse. They definitely knew that, right? It was on video. Anyway, I don't know. There's that. But let's wrap this up and then we're going to come back with a little bit more, but it's going to be more on Cassie's cross-examination, because that's what's going to happen here in a few hours. They're going to move on to the next witness in court, which I cannot wait to hear. Well, not hear, but hear about, okay? Because we can't go in the courtroom. Let's see.
No question. And I think people are afraid that they're going to be wrapped up in this because it can be, a career killer.
Absolutely. And so the question is, why aren't celebrities coming forward? And why haven't celebrities come forward and other people? Well, he just answered that question. And we're going to end it there. He answered the question. They don't want to get wrapped up in it. It could be a career killer. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. That could be a whole other thing. Because, for P. Diddy, his career is a wrap. This is a wrap. I don't think he's missing any coins, but it's definitely a wrap. Anyway, I'm going to end this segment because it's a little bit longer. I want to get into Cassie, touch base on Cassie, the highlights on Cassie's testimony or cross-examination, however you want to word it, in the next segment. Okay, so this is a bit of a long video than I expected, but I'm going to do that. But anyway, give me 5 minutes. I'm going to come back and do that and go ahead and do that. I didn't want to go this long, but I guess I am. Thank you for listening to Chat with T. I'm your host, Miss T. We'll be right back. We're going to pick up a little bit of music here, and then we'll come back, okay? And appreciate you. Don't forget to like the video, okay? All right, let's get into this. We'll be back. Let's get ready to start our next segment, like 2 more minutes. Thank you for being so patient. All right. This is DJ over T. I'm your host, Miss T. Thank you. And don't forget to like the video. Okay, all right. Yes, I'm going to get started for our last segment. So, yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so like I said before, there is so much to share about P. Diddy. There's so much to share about P. Diddy, but we're going to get into it, okay? We're going to get into it. So, here we go. Okay. So, basically, this is the last segment. It's about P. Diddy. But this time, we're just going to do a quick review. Since in a few hours, they're going to actually start the next week on the P. Diddy case. I wanted to, the P. Diddy trial, per se. I wanted to get, touch base on some of the highlights. Now, for the most part, last week, they interviewed or cross-examined, however you want to word it, Cassie. So let's get into it. So that's what this is about, so you know. Okay, all right. So let's back it up a little bit. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to start getting a quick review how the week started. Okay, we're going to move around a little bit, okay?
Here's what went down in the Diddy trial this week.
The sex trafficking trial, Sean Diddy Combs' testimony now underway after both sides delivered their opening statements.
And today, jurors heard from a male escort who talked about his relationship with Diddy and his girlfriend. Fox Eye's Lisa Evers was inside the courtroom today. She's live in Lower Manhattan with more on today's proceedings. Lisa, what's the latest?
Well, Natasha and Bianca, a big day here in federal court in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. It's the start of week 2. Things really kicked up into high gear. There were opening statements. A jury was impaneled. There was even explosive testimony from one witness. Now, the mother of Sean Diddy Combs and his kids left court today after a very rough day. They showed up to support him as his trial kicked into high gear, but some of the testimony was so disturbing that his 3 daughters walked out of the courtroom. Male strip show manager Daniel Phillip took the stand and testified that he was booked by Cassie Ventura to dance at what he thought was a bachelorette party, but it turned out to be only Cassie and Sean Diddy Combs in a hotel suite at the Gramercy Park Hotel. Phillip testified that he was paid several $1,000s to have baby oil massages and sex with Ventura while Combs watched from a corner and then pleasured himself. He said that was the first of many sex encounters in Manhattan at their residences and also at other hotels. Now, the first witness that spoke, that testified and got on the stand, was a security guard at the hotel where Cassie Ventura was beaten in that horrific video that pretty much everybody saw in Los Angeles in 2016. Now, he testified that he shielded her from Combs because Combs did not want her to leave the hotel after the attack, but he says he shielded her, helped her go back to the room, get her bag and her phone, and get her out of there. So a lot happened today, a lot more expected tomorrow. And
Okay, so we're gonna skip past that. That was just the first day, that Monday, May 12th. You hear she said it was the person that I got the call, but Cassie hired him basically. From my understanding, it was under PG's instructions. But anyway, they went through that. So the rest of the week pretty much is about Cassie. Not about her. Well, yeah, about Cassie and her and P. Diddy's relationship. So let's get into that. Okay. Let's get on to Tuesday.
Dramatic day of testimony inside federal court in lower Manhattan as Cassie, Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend, took the stand.
The R&B singer candidly discussing the disturbing allegations leveled against the music mogul, including the freak-offs. Fox 8's Teresa Briello is here to break it all down and what the star witness had to say, Teresa.
Yeah, it's really shocking to hear that this is the first time we're actually hearing publicly from Cassie Ventura. She hasn't made any sort of public comment about her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. This all comes after that bombshell 8-figure settlement in her civil case. But her story is what began this entire ordeal, and today she told it in open court. Much of Cassie's emotional testimony focusing on those freak-offs. She said, quote, the FOs became a job where there was no space to do anything else but to recover and try to feel normal again. Much has been made about these drug-fueled sex marathons with escorts or sex workers in homes and hotels around the world. Sometimes they lasted 36 to 72 hours. Cassie told the jury today, Combs...
Stop right there. Say what now? I know I heard this before, but 36 hours of what? What are we doing? I'm sorry. I am making light of, but not necessarily of abuse, but just the third, like this. Come on, P. Diddy, really? Oh, it's too much. Too much.
Dictated every aspect of these encounters. It was his fantasy, and he was controlling the entire situation. She said he was directing it. A large component of these freak-offs were drugs, and she testified, for me, it was disassociative and numbing. I couldn't imagine doing any of that without any sort of buffer. A buffer while she said she was heavily objectified by men. She told the court she met Diddy when she was 19 years old. He promised her a record deal and a career. Soon after meeting him, he kissed her and then they had sex. He eventually introduced her to those freak-offs, which he recorded and she said he used as a form of blackmail. She also testified that the freak-offs and other aspects...
Stop right there. I know, like, Miss T, why you keep stopping. Well, it's noteworthy. So I thought she was a little older, but I guess he's still, the facts are here. He met her when she was 19. Now, you know, P. Diddy was older then. I think P. Diddy was maybe 40 something years old. I don't know. He was still old. I mean, older than she was, like 20 years older. I know people say it don't make a difference, but it does make a difference. He's very 19-year-olds. I'm a woman. It's very impressionable. So I'm not saying yes, no, and all the things. I'm just saying. Okay.
Of their relationship weren't without physical abuse. Quote, he would smash me in the head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head if I was down. When asked how often she was abused by Diddy, she said, quote, too frequently.
The defense, has embraced what they needed to embrace. And as a lawyer, you say you admit what you can't deny and you deny what you can't admit. And all of this at the end of the day is not whether or not he was a domestic abuser or a good person or engaged in this type of sexual behavior. That's not sex trafficking, and that doesn't make him a racketeer. And so really that's what a jury is going to need to focus on, and that's where the prosecution's challenge is going to be. Because
Stop right there. That's it, right there. That is that's my thing. That is my thing, what she just said, okay? Yeah, he was the DV, the domestic violence was clear. He abused her. Yes, he did. Not saying maybe they should be prosecuting for that, but the racketeering, the ex trafficking, I said ex trafficking, YouTube. Okay, that's wild to me. Like, how are they going to prove that? It just so. Excuse me. So far, I don't see any proof of that. But then again, I'm not an attorney, a lawyer, all the things. Okay, or a judge. I'm just saying. Okay.
right now we've heard a lot of inflammatory testimony, absolutely. But again, that doesn't amount to sex trafficking under federal law.
The bottom line, Cassie says she didn't want to upset Diddy because she loved him. She's expected to continue her testimony tomorrow.
All right.
We do want to begin tonight with Cassie Ventura
Okay.
back on the witness stand in the Diddy trial. The R&B singer testifying in graphic detail about the physical and sexual abuse she says she was subjected to at the hands of her ex-boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs. All this as prosecutors showed still images from the videos of encounters Diddy allegedly referred to as freak-offs.
Fox 9's Richard Jacobus is here now with more on the dramatic testimony from Cassie's second day on the stand.
Natasha, Steve, once again, it was a dramatic day in court. Cassie Ventura broke down and cried on the stand. The R&B singer said at one point during rehab and trauma therapy, she didn't want to be alive anymore because she could not take the pain. A key revelation today was Ventura's admission that she settled with Sean Diddy Combs for $20 million in a 2023 lawsuit that the accused hip-hop mogul of raping and physically abusing Ventura for decades. Ventura saying, "I wanted to be compensated for the time and the pain and the many, many years of having to try to fix my life." She says she testified against Combs to do the right thing, and so she no longer has to carry the shame and the guilt. Ventura's attorney saying outside court tonight that today was a powerful one in court.
She's very pregnant. She's about to give birth, but she's holding up strong. I mean, having to recount what happened during those 10 years and beyond, and talking about her contemplation of suicide.
So stop right there before we go further. You know, they mentioned the fact that she received a settlement of 20 mil. And that's the one when she this is how this whole thing popped off. It's because Cassie sued him and he settled. And we didn't at the time it was a disclosed amount of money. But now we know it was 20 million. It was 20 million. So, which is quite a bit of money, but not for necessarily for her pain and all the things she's went through. Okay, there's probably not a dollar amount to put on that, but I will say this is probably the reason. Now, I'm not saying that me, Tammy T, Miss T, but what I will say is that that's why a lot of people call her probably saying she's a gold digger. I'm not saying that she is. That's probably why people are saying that she is a gold digger. That's why they're calling her that. Because of the money, right? The funds. Because and then but it's so much that went on around that about the funds and the money when he paid her off. Like for example, he paid her off within 24 hours. And you know, that was a shocker. That was a real shocker. That's probably the fastest I think they've ever seen anyone settle in court was within 24 hours. But you know, my reasoning behind that is he just didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want anything to get out and he didn't want to deal with it. Okay, he just didn't want to deal with it. That's what I see or hear. I'm not saying he didn't do anything to her because he clearly did something to her. Probably over and over again, I allegedly. But from the video, we know he did it that time for sure. But more than likely, he probably did it before that. But anyway, the point of it is the money part. I don't know. Something about that. I don't know. We found out he gave her 20, but then we found out later she also got a $10 million settlement as well from the hotel. And I don't know. It's just okay. Something about that. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. And again, I am not minimizing her pain and all the things she went through. That is not what this is. This is just looking at the facts and just like what's really going on here. Okay. Or what else is going on? Maybe not what else is going on here besides that. Anyway.
Really just very powerful.
And one of the most serious accusations Ventura has made against Combs is that he raped her after they had broken up in 2018, telling the court, quote, "I just remember crying and saying no," she says, but it was very fast. Ventura claiming that she didn't even think Combs noticed that he did rape her. The jury...
Stop right there. That. Again, not defending him, but that right there, what they just said. Now, I've read a lot of reports and heard a lot of things, so I've heard a lot of this already. Here's the thing. That did happen. I mean, if that happened, if he did that, the question is, why did Cassie go right back to him? She got right back with him. Either was the next day or so. Like, it was like extremely like right back with him. If he did that to her, why would you go back? They weren't in the same space. She just chose to go back. Anyway, I don't know if that a victim thing. I'm not being funny. I'm so serious. Is that something that victims do? Because it's just weird to me. That's part of the reason her being a witness. I don't know how well it's gonna stand because of things like it seems like her behavior was anyway. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a victim, so I don't know. Never been a victim of that particular this particular situation, so or anything like it. So it's sad, but it just doesn't quite. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it adds up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he didn't SA her. I ain't saying that. But why would you go right back to him? Because that's exactly what happened. That's what she said. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay.
Today was also shown sexually explicit images taken from the freak-off videos. A female juror appearing to exhale, letting out a deep breath while putting her hand over her chest. And a male juror seemed to quickly look away when the images popped up. Asked if Ventura was ever injured in Combs' freak-off, she replied that he would, quote, "grab me up, push me down, hit me in the side of the head, kick me, you name it." Attorney and jury consultant Madeline Somerville says tomorrow is the true test, cross-examination. Will Cassie Ventura hold it together and not buckle under pressure?
If I'm prepping her for tomorrow, I would say don't let them rile you up, because they have a couple different angles that they can go with the defense, right? They can say that she was jealous. They can say that she was, this was consensual, that she was essentially willing to subject herself to this for a lavish lifestyle. But the more they push that with her, the worse they're going to look.
Ventura also recalled today that one of...
And stop right there. That part is of what and that's exactly what I'm confirming that's what I've heard. What I'm saying by that is I've heard that on different platforms all over social media. I've heard that as well. Some people, like I said before, some people accuse her of being a gold digger. Not me, just some people. I'm just saying. And then there's some people out there saying that she was jealous, meaning she was jealous of how P. Diddy treated the other women after her, or actually during their relationship, or whatever they call their relationship at first. Because remember, he was still with Kim Porter at the time. At some point, he was still with Kim Porter. So they're saying that she was jealous. And not only that, some other ladies that he dated or whatever, they're saying there are people, now again, people are speculating that she was jealous because it appears that he treated them better. Okay? They're doing certain things. And also, they're saying that Cassie wanted more. Cassie wanted the family, the Thanksgiving, spend time with her on the holidays and all the things. And word on the street is, again, hearsay, that he wasn't giving it to her. It was like he was treating her more like a side chick or a play toy, a pretty little thing, this, that, and the third. So they were saying maybe she was jealous of the other women or whatever. So anyway, that's kind of where that comes from. But yes, that is very true. That is exactly what's been happening. It's what I've heard. Just keeping my ears to the YouTube internet streets. Let's keep going. Okay. All right. Let's keep going.
Of Sean Combs' security guards cried when he saw her following a beating from Combs in 2015. She testified that Combs then instructed her to hide her black eyes and knots on her forehead from his son by applying more makeup.
All right, we're on Thursday.
Now to an explosive day of testimony in the sex crimes trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Star witness Cassie Ventura is questioned by the defense, who tried to portray her as a willing participant in the freak-offs.
And Fox 5's Lisa Evers is live in Lower Manhattan. And after spending the day in the courtroom, Lisa is bringing us up to speed. Lisa.
Yes, well, Natasha and Bianca, the court session here ended just a short time ago. That is later than usual. That's because they're trying to wrap up this testimony with Cassie Ventura, the cross-examination of her, within 2 days. Now, just a short time ago, take a look at this video. We saw Sean Combs' sons leaving the court, getting into the black Sprinter that takes them to and from the trial. Combs' 3 daughters were not in court with them today. They were missing yesterday as well. Just moments ago, we caught up with Cassie's attorney, Doug.
So, also in reference to the daughters, the daughters, they weren't there the last couple days. I did see something though, it's hard to tell, but I saw on social media where it looks like I think they went to their prom. They went to their prom. So they may take some time out to get themselves together. And they, from my understanding, again, hearsay, from social media, they went to their prom. So that may be why they weren't there. Not because they want to support their dad. And I don't know all 3 girls. I know 2, the twins. If I'm not mistaken, they went to their prom. So maybe they just took off to take time to do what they need to do as young ladies. They went to the prom. Okay, all right.
Wigdor, here's what he had to say.
There's no credibility issues with her. The facts are the facts. She's telling them as they are.
Stop right there. I disagree. I'm not an attorney, a lawyer, or a judge. I do think that even though she may be telling her truth, it still doesn't, because of what she's saying. Because the parts that's missing in this part that I'm sharing with you is that there were reports where she's saying she enjoyed the F-offs, the freak-offs. So that's the thing. There are reports where she said, did she just, I don't know. Why would she say that? But there's so many things behind that. But anyway, there were text messages where she stated that she actually enjoyed it. So that's kind of contradicts what he's saying to me, in my opinion. Okay.
Truth. And they are what they are. This is not a typical cross-examination. There's
Definitely not typical.
There's no issues with her credibility.
There's 2 sides to every story, and you can't rush the judgment, and you have to just wait until all the facts, and we did see the facts, and we did see the receipts as to what was happening in real time with their relationship.
Now, this was Cassie's first day under cross-examination by Diddy's defense team. It was her 3rd day on that witness stand under oath, Natasha and Bianca.
Yeah, Lisa. So Cassie also dropped a bombshell statement about Diddy's drug use. What did she have to say about that?
She did, Natasha. Well, they were trying to show that had this lifestyle that was very, it was an on-again, off-again relationship. There was a lot of drug use and abuse. The bombshell came towards the end of the session today, where Cassie testified that Diddy overdosed in 2012. She actually drove him to a hospital, and that's the first time we've been hearing that his alleged drug use went that far. Now,
I think about that may be a surprise about the alleged about the drug use and all the things. We've known, allegedly, everyone's figured it out that more than likely, I'm trying to find the words, P. Diddy was definitely on drugs, like it's clear. And so was Cassie. She said she was. So these things are allegedly, this is what she said. So that's not really a surprise. Not really.
His defense team has said that he had a drug addiction problem. She had a drug addiction problem. She talked about that again today, because they're really trying to show that she was right there with him, that she was not in a situation where she was being trafficked. Natasha and Bianca?
Elisa, before you go, we're talking about wrapping up week 1. So what's going to be happening next week? What can people look forward to that?
Well, we have one more day of cross-examination for Cassie Ventura. I think that's why they went a little bit later today, because they want to. The judge wants to have it wrapped up by the end of tomorrow. Remember, she's very pregnant. I don't know if she's very close to it. Has to be very close to her due date. So they wanted to get her off the stand by the end of today. Next week, we can look at more of the prosecution as witnesses as they continue to present them. We'll see what that entails, and then of course we still have the defense presenting. We have to wait and see what their whole defense is, but we got some pretty good hints today of what we can expect to hear from them. More testimony about Cassie. There were the explicit text messages between her and Combs today where she was telling him she loved him, that she actually liked the freak-offs, especially when they had made love after the freak-off. So kind of portrayed those in a little bit of a different picture than what we heard yesterday.
The most powerful part of Cassie's testimony today, and probably out of all 4 days that she was on the stand, came during questioning about the $20 million settlement she received after that civil lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. The defense tried to imply that money was tight for her at the time and asked her if the reason why she canceled her scheduled tour overseas was because she now had millions of dollars. She responded by testifying and crying on the stand, saying, "I'd give that money back if I never had to have freak-offs. If I never had to have freak-offs, I would have had agency and autonomy, and I wouldn't have had to work so hard to get it back."
So stop right there. Yeah, and that's the thing. Rich, I wanted to stop because that's significant. There are people, there's hearsay again, another, if you know, hearsay is that people on the street are saying, when I say street, I mean online, social media, etc. They're saying or people are saying, not all, some people are saying that that's where the gold digger situation comes in. They're saying that she's a gold digger. They're saying that she canceled her tour because, again, she's a musician. If you didn't know, I think that we mentioned that earlier. She canceled her tour because, you know, she found some money. They're also saying that she canceled her tour because she became, all of a sudden she got this $20 million from P. Diddy, and also $10 million again. I don't know if they're going to mention this, but $10 million from the hotel, and because it relates to the camera, the video, which still was leaked out regardless. Like, it still was leaked out of her getting beaten or whatever by P. Diddy. And then there's also another rumor. I'm just telling you what's out here on this social media, right? Social media also saying that some people are mentioning and saying that, her husband wasn't working at the time and she was struggling for money. Now, I'm not saying any of that's true. I'm just saying what is being said. Okay? But this is what she said. But this is what being said out here on social media.
Her husband left the courthouse after sitting through testimony nearly all week, listening to his wife detail all the alleged sexual abuse she endured over 11 years. An audio recording was also played in court of her confronting someone named Sujit, who said they had video on their phone of Cassie pleasuring herself and having sex with someone who wasn't Diddy. More text between Diddy.
That's another thing. Why? Who has this? Oh my goodness. I know that's the small little piece, but why? Why does whoever this is, why do they have it?
And Cassie were shown of Cassie showing enthusiasm for the freak-offs, not something she said she wanted to do, but did it to please Diddy as her career took a backseat, saying it became like another job, setting up the freak-offs, preparing for them, and recovering from them. Cassie also testified that she went to rehab for opiate addiction and still takes medication for it. One of Cassie's lawyers spoke out after she wrapped testimony.
Everything that she's gone through in the 10 years or so with Sean Combs, her drug addiction and her recovery, to be able to come into this courtroom and testify for the last week on these very graphic subjects is a true testament to her character.
And her Her husband, Alex Fine, released this statement in part saying, "I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an insult to the years of painful work my wife has done to save herself. Cassie saved Cassie. She alone broke free from abuse, coercion, violence, and threats. She did the work of fighting the demons that only a demon himself could have done to her. All I have done is love her as she has loved me." And Cassie also in part releasing this statement, "This week has been extremely challenging, but also remarkably empowering and healing for me. I hope that my testimony has given strength and a voice to other survivors and can help others who have suffered to speak up and also heal from abuse and fear." Cassie also revealed that she received $10 million from another settlement involving Intercontinental, the hotel where she was captured on TV, on surveillance video rather, being beat and dragged and kicked by Diddy. Now, through her lawyer, she adds that she's asking for privacy at this time as she prepares for the end of her pregnancy and her growing family. We're live outside federal court. Michelle Ross, Fox 5 News.
Mm.
Most important thing is there's got to be a solution.
Well, there's that. So that's that, and I'm not gonna get into this because this right here. Because listen, there's so many parts and pieces and moving around P Diddy. Well, that's the thing about Cassie. So Cassie's was cross-examined and all that's done. So in a few hours, actually, they're gonna put some other people on the stand, and so I'm curious to know who those people are gonna be. So we're gonna have another long week of P Diddy this and P Diddy that. So anyway, there's that. But like I said, I just wanted to get a quick, well, not quick, but a review or summary of kind of what went on last week with the P Diddy case. Most of it is really all about Cassie, P Diddy, drugs, X. That's pretty much what it was about. No joke. That's pretty much what it was about. And also the fact that her husband was there in the courtroom, and there's that. And I will touch on the thing too that, like they said, she did mention it, or he mentioned it, that people were saying that he was a savior. He saved her from P Diddy, this, that, and the third. And there's also a little clip in there. They were talking about the fact that while she was actually having intercourse with P Diddy, she was on the phone with her husband. So there's so many. It's when I tell you it's a bunch of drama. They had a very crazy relationship. Only thing I don't care about this whole thing is that I am not taking up for P. Diddy. It's just that, you know, there has to be, everyone needs to be accountable for their actions. That's all I'm saying. But we're going to continue to hear more because I'm curious to see how they're going to connect this and say that P. Diddy was S trafficking and all the things. Yeah, I'm not really sure how they're going to connect that. But yeah, he definitely abused Cassie. That's clear. He admitted it to that as well. So it's not like this is a hearsay or allegedly. He definitely did that. But Cassie did stay for 10 years. I'm not on either side. I'm simply stating what it is. She did stay for 10 years, right? She did. So there's that. Was that a victim of SA, abuse, she couldn't leave, or did she stay because she was getting something out of it? Those are the things that kind of weigh back and forth. I think a lot of people are way back and forth on what to believe and what not to believe and all the things. That's part of it. It makes us, question like what's what. Anyway, so that's all I have as far as P. Diddy for the night, morning, wherever you are. Thank you for listening. I'll be back again with another recap. I'll probably wait again till the end of the week to give my recap because so many moving pieces. Well, they will probably discuss in court tomorrow. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So basically, we covered a lot today, tonight, depending on what time it is. We kind of touched on Biden and his recent illness. Preferably he can, have a little bit more. Maybe he'll have a little bit with medication. He can have a little more time with his wife and grandkids and things of that nature. Hopefully he can, right? And then we touched on the Louisiana prisoners that escaped. There were 11 prisoners escaped. I think they captured 3. So all that's crazy. I'm not gonna keep going on about that, but the infrastructure, why is that? I couldn't even understand how that was even possible. But yes, they did. They escaped. We touched on that, and I'll keep you updated on that as well. And then lastly, we touched on P. Diddy, or not lasted. We touched on P. Diddy, but also with Jason Bieber, because I was wondering, was he going to testify? But that was cleared up. He's not. He's not going to testify. And he said he wasn't a victim. That's the next thing. And he also, but for whatever reason, he almost confirmed there were other victims. So there's that. And then lastly, we discussed the overall things that went on at the P. Diddy case. Of course, there's no way I could hit everything. There's no way. But I hit the highlights, which surrounded around Cassie's testimony, the freak offs, the abuse, all the things. She liked it, she didn't like it, all the things. Well, I do appreciate you listening. I'm going to come on another vibe, another little bit more music, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. But it's been an absolute pleasure. This is Chit Chat with T. I'm your host, Miss T. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate you. Okay, all right. So let's get into this, and then we're going to call it a night or morning or evening, depending on where you are. Just depends. Okay, all right. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, new beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma is a must. Still my shooter in the cut. I was stuck inside a rut. Played the game, made bank, move G. Anything to get a buck. You won't find me in the club. I'm in the lab trying to sharpen up the sword, swinging blades at these scrubs. Flock like bugs to the light, yeah, right. Treat my hoes like these raps. I don't really got a type. Off top bullshit. All I needed was a mic. Yeah. Hey, pass the rock, it's all butter. Pack your bags and take flight. Don't worry, it's all covered. Hey, live your life while you can. Our days are all numbered. Rain could cause thunder, but the sun comes after, clearing up the disaster.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back and focus on what's in front of me. Everybody days a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company.
So take it from me, I got some places I should take you to see. You know it's easy when you ride with a G. Light speed, moving fast through the city, trying to find me some peace. I finally lived to be the guy that I was dying to be. Still I got some trust issues, people lie through their teeth. The more I grew, the more they hide in the crease. Squad building, weak members get released. If we trying to compete, starting pitchers need relief. Bro, we building a team, everybody got a niche. I've been known to play mine to a T, but it's time for me to lead. Picking dirt right out the cleats. Steep path, roadblocks in the streets, trying to knock me off my feet, cause the devil never sleeps. So I don't sleep too, and trying to breach safes that I didn't have the keys to. We all been victims of trauma we ain't agreed to, but the sun comes after, starting up a new chapter.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back and focus on what's in front of me. Everybody days a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company. Isn't it lovely?
This is Chit Chat with T. I'm your host, Miss T. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for listening. And if you're on the replay, thank you for listening, sharing, because sharing is caring. Don't forget to like the video because it gets the sisters in the algorithm. And also don't forget to subscribe if you have yet to do so. But I do appreciate you. We're going to wrap this up and head on out. I'll be back for sure. Okay, I'll be back. But thank you for listening. All right, all right.
beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma is a must. Still my shooter in the cut. I was stuck inside a rut. Played the game, made bank, move G. Anything to get a buck. You won't find me in the club. I'm in the lab trying to sharpen up the sword, swinging blades at these scrubs. Flock like bugs to the light, yeah right. Treat my hoes like these raps. I don't really got a type. Off top bullshit. All I needed was a mic.
Bye. Good night. Or good morning. Where you are.